Ladies and gentlemen, we are live!
I'm Jerry.
I'm Kevin.
And I'm Tom.
It's time!
Live from the CSB studios in Westbury, New York.
It's the Tom and Jerry Sports Show.
Featuring co-host Kevin Dolan and the host that's been here since day one, Jerry Napoleonello.
On Zeno Radio and
on All Noise Radio.
What is up, Tom and Jerry Sports Show? You are here live with Jerry Napoleonello and Kevin Donlin on Zeno Radio, All Noise Radio, and the Live 365 app. We have a lot of news to get to today. And, I mean, I'm excited.
Me too, man.
Are you excited for football to be starting on Thursday?
Yeah, man, you got the opening night game. You're going to see the New England Patriots, the defending champions, taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it should be a good one, especially with one man coming back.
Number 12, Tom Brady.
Tom Brady
we'll
officially
be back
coming
for
back.
That game.
Yeah, we'll be here for the full season. Honestly, I think, you know, when it comes to the decision that was made there, you really just have to see that there was a lot of lack of evidence. The NFL had no evidence. There's no footballs to throw, you know, in the grand jury or anything like that. It made it really easy for this judge, I think, just because of the lack of evidence. I mean, you're going off a he say, she say kind of thing, and you know, basically, you know, not enough hard evidence against Tom Brady, and you know, the judge, I think, made the right decision here. Had no choice.
The deal is, we're not going to get into it that much because
we already have.
I mean, every single sports channel, even news channel, whatever it is, has gone into this in depth. I mean, we've been talking about it since basically the game that it happened in, and now it's just time to get back to football. And the main part of what you need to know about the Tom Brady ruling was they did not come to a settlement. The NFL and Tom Brady did not come to a settlement on a suspension. So now it was up to the judge. All the judge could do was uphold that 4-game suspension, or it was going to be a no-game suspension. And obviously, everybody knows what happened. The judge says there's not enough evidence to make it a 4-game suspension. Tom Brady will be there playing under center for the New England Patriots on Thursday, and he will be there for the rest of the season, barring any injury.
Yeah, honestly, you know, when you look into the report, you know, you really don't want to get into this too much, and you probably already read about this already, but, I mean, honestly, in the Wells report that came out, there was no hard evidence. The judge actually came out and basically said something along the lines of that. Roger Goodell already trying to appeal that. This is just it's still gonna be a messy situation, but right now, you want to overlook it. You got the NFL starting. You know, football's back, better than ever. You know, I just can't wait for Thursday night. And once you start seeing Tom Brady throw the ball and airing it out, I think all this talk will be, you know, going down. You know, and also you just want to take this time to let you know to join the Tom and Jerry Sports Show Pick'em Pool as well as our Eliminator Pool by going to our website. Winners will get a free jersey of their choice. Winners of both. TNGsports.weebly.com. Join up on foxsports.com and get right in there, man. Win that free jersey.
This is the first time that we're doing this. We're actually pretty excited about this.
Well, I don't know why you're excited, because I think I'm going to win. So.
Well, I wouldn't go too far on that. But, you know, I'm really excited about this. I think this is going to be a great way of getting connected with our fans. And, you know, again, join the conversation on Twitter at TNJ Sports. Or at our website, as Kevin said, tnjsports.weebly.com. But the main thing that I kind of want to get into, especially about this whole Tom Brady ruling, was what's Roger Goodell's future with the NFL? I mean, this guy has taken so many black eyes the last 3 years, I guess you can say.
Well, he's starting to get questioned on every single, you know, judgment. Yeah, basically every kind of judgment he makes on certain, you know, listen, there's so much different things that go on in the NFL with NFL players off the field and on the field issues. You know, this was in particularly an on the field issue with the footballs, or the Ray Rice was an off the field issue with with his wife and everything. And
Greg Hardy.
Yeah, but basically, this guy's
Sheldon
he's being too inconsistent with his punishments, and it makes you really wonder, what's the future for this guy?
Ray Rice really was a huge black eye for Roger Goodell personally, at least. Not really that much of the NFL. It did look bad on the NFL, but the Ray Rice incident looked more so bad on Roger Goodell because it kind of did look like he saw the video before it came out and didn't think it was going to come out, and only gave him a 2-game suspension.
Well, when you go into that you go into a lot of depth there. You really don't know. I don't know. You don't know. Even Adam Schefter himself doesn't know the real details. I mean, they can assume stuff and tweet this and that, different kind of things. Basically assuming, and to assume that this man had seen the whole idea of what had happened and what had gone on in that elevator. It's just appalling. I mean, either way, people didn't really know the full story. Roger Goodell didn't know. But the one thing, like you said last week, is that, Tom Brady and anyone else in the Players Association for the NFL, they knew what kind of power Roger Goodell was going to be getting. And, it was agreed on. It was agreed on from both parties. This man was going to be the law, okay, and that it was his word or the highway, basically. And, now there's a lot of criticism coming with this whole idea of, of what he's been doing and how he's been able to handle certain situations. And, when it comes to, different circumstances that go on in the NFL, you really have a hard time, I mean, I can tell you right now, that job, if I even went out and did that job myself, it's not the easiest job in the world. You're getting criticized not just from one media outlet, but from every single media outlet in the United States. That's how big football is. Football is a big sport,
And you know what? To a point, other than this Tom Brady issue, but, talking about the Ray Rice and incidents off the field, It really does. It's not a football issue. Now, every news channel, every, like you have TMZ, you have like all this stuff that's going to, get involved and come up with their own headlines for this stuff. So when it comes to things like the Ray Rice or Sheldon Richardson, where he was speeding at 145 miles per hour with, weed in the car, a gun, being chased by the cops.
That's it.
Ray Rice punching his wife, knocking her out, dragging her out of an elevator. TMZ was actually the first to break that video out to the public. It's just exactly like you said. Football is, a big sport in the United States, if not the biggest.
It is the biggest.
It definitely
has definitely dethroned baseball as the most popular sport in America.
Absolutely.
It really has. And
Absolutely.
I don't care if you could sit there and be, you could sit there and deny it all day. But, even old timers and all that, baseball, growing up as baseball being America's sport, America's pastime. But that's what it is. It's America's pastime. And right now, the future time is the NFL and, football in general. People love this sport. People have parties for for the Super Bowl. I mean, I don't know a lot of people that have parties for the World Series. I mean, that's just, I'm just saying it just in general. Well, no matter what teams are playing either.
The difference, though, with that is the World Series is a best of 7.
Hey, but if there's a Game 7 of the World Series, I don't see people throwing parties for Game 7 of the World Series even. I mean, this is how big this sport has gotten. It's a big sport. Everyone wants to go out and drink beer, and have a great time and watch this game, and it really has turned into, I mean, like, if you looked at that concussion movie, this organization owns a day of the week.
Yeah.
It literally owns an entire day of the week.
Yeah.
It is a big organization. It's a big sport. And honestly, to be the law for the players of that sport, it's not an easy job. Okay, and you're going to get a lot of criticism left and right. So when you say the future of Roger Goodell to be, in question, that's appalling. I mean, I don't see that happening. I don't see this guy stepping down at all.
The thing is, do you think he's doing a good job?
I mean, I can't criticize. I really can't. I mean, it's not easy. This isn't an easy job to have. I mean, there's so much inconsistent. Like, these are different circumstances always.
The thing that I look at it is, Roger Goodell, I mean, he's ruining the sport. That's how I look at it. He's ruining the sport of football.
In what regard? I gotta argue with you because I don't understand what you mean. Because this sport has gotten more and more popular over the last 5-6 years alone.
But look at the game on the field, though. How many times can you actually watch 2 minutes of a game and not see one yellow flag being thrown?
I think the ref situation that falls on Roger Goodell.
That Roger Goodell is the one that's coming up with these. You know, that he's sitting down with these refs, the officials, and everything like that, coming up with ways to stop the injuries and stuff like that. But
because there's a lot of criticism coming from that direction as well.
Exactly.
Again, this is a very difficult job to have, and the ref's job doesn't get much easier than that either.
I agree with you in that aspect. I just think the ways that Roger Goodell's been going about everything, I think has been wrong. I think he's really, screwed up the NFL, at least in my eyes.
There's a lot of criticism coming from every direction. I can understand where your hatred comes from, but I'm a big football fan, and I've been watching the game for a long time, and I see what you mean by the different changes. A lot more yellow flags, but guys are still getting hurt in the NFL.
Well,
so
and
you're not really protecting.
That's the thing.
A player with these.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, that means they need to look in a different direction. Like I've talked about this with the helmets in the NFL. We've talked about this before, and this won't be the last time we talk about it. Players using the helmets as weapons as opposed to protection. Yeah. And that's something that he needs to look into. There's a lot of stuff to get into.
See, the thing is, they're talking about how they don't want these players going up high for and they don't want them going low either. But they don't want them going low either. How many times are you going to go where you're going at full speed? Now these players are going at full speed. How many times can you make up your mind and change your flight of a tackle to hit the absolute midsection of a player when that player is moving as well? It's hard to be a defensive player in the game of football right now with all these calls. Exactly.
Defensive player. I mean, I can understand what you're saying, that there's a lot of inconsistencies with the sport right now, but that can't all fall on Roger Goodell. I understand what you're saying. He's coming out with a lot of these rules and how you can't go high, low, but I mean, at the same time, refs are making calls here and there. They're doing their best judgment. That isn't an easier job than what Roger Goodell has as well. And I mean,
the way I look at it is, if you're going to have these penalties, I think you should review these penalties. These are big penalties.
Well, then you're looking at a 5-hour game.
I understand that, but you want to get the game right. This is what they're talking about. They want to get the game right. And when you have a pass interference call that can get from a team from the 10-yard line, their own 10-yard line, to the next,
I think they should maybe adjust that. I actually like the college football rule with the 15 yards, regardless of how far down the field the penalty was. I mean, but this is something we've been talking about for years now. I mean, this is like 3 or 4 years we've been talking about this, about how that rule should be changed. But
absolutely.
You can't change the entire sport overnight. I mean, there's already a lot of changes going on with extra points and everything to try to make the game a little bit more challenging, a lot more decision-making for these coaches. The game's changing little by little. You can't change everything all at once. I can see what you're saying there, but listen, we got we're gonna actually stop right here. We'll go to a break for a sec.
We have big news about our show when we get back. You're listening to the Tom and Jerry Sports Show on Zeno Radio and All Noise Radio.
Be right back.
Our jobs occupy more than half our waking hours. Shouldn't we be doing something we love? Call Connecticut School of Broadcasting at 1-800-TV-RADIO or log on to gocsb.com. Since 1964, Connecticut School of Broadcasting, with a network of 12 campuses from Massachusetts to Miami, has helped place thousands of grads as DJs, sportscasters, entertainment reporters, behind the scenes in audio and video production, every aspect of the broadcast media. Connecticut School of Broadcasting has trained men and women of all ages and backgrounds in a matter of months, not years. Learn by doing from area radio and TV pros. Call 1-800-TV-RADIO or log on to gocsb.com. Remember, it's never too late to love what you do. Day and evening classes begin soon. Get trained. Get connected now.
special Tom and Jerry Sports Show coming to you live on Thursday, September 10th. Be sure to listen in.
Yeah, this is we really do have a big show coming up on Thursday, and it's not just because the football season is starting. We have big news that we want to, basically bring up on the show, and definitely check that show out. We're not even going to tell you what is going to be happening that day, but definitely check it out. Also, the other big news for our show, the Tom and Jerry Sports Show now has its very own app. If you have an Android phone, be sure to download that at the Google Play Store, Tom and Jerry Sports Show. We also have a iTunes app in the works.
Yeah, that's the best way to put it. It's in the works right now. Obviously, it takes time.
Yes.
iOS, the App Store for the iPhone and the Android is a lot different, a lot more different things. There's going to be more consistency as we, get more with technology.
Yes,
that's basically how it works in this world.
Yeah, look at us now. We're live. So,
yeah, no. It's crazy.
Going from a recorded to edited and played on a different day to being live and now having our own app. And then you'll see the other news that we have coming up on Thursday. But definitely come and listen to that show. Call in. We want to hear everything that that you want to talk about sports. But
right now we're going to get into the New York Yankees and the New York Mets.
Yes.
Both teams still fighting for playoff spots. The New York Mets have continued this comfortable lead they have in the division right now. And I'll tell you, man, this team is honestly the most shocking and the most impressive team I've seen all year, and I'm a Yankee fan, and that's saying a lot. I don't ever hate on the Mets. I think you guys can know that by this point, because if I see something in front of my eyes, basically, if you're going to play good right in front of me, I'm not going to sit there and deny it. The New York Mets had very dangerous pitching. I think the biggest pickup of the year, Yoenis Cespedes, it's just been unbelievable for this team. This guy's a hitting machine right now.
He's the reason why they're.
He's batting 300 for the New York Yankees. He's a career 210 hitter, folks.
This is what I'm saying. Like, this is the guy that's the reason behind.
You wouldn't even believe what's making this kid laugh right now. While we were on break, I found a way to slice open my knee. I don't know how that even happened. Of course, in his desk, unbelievable. But as we continue,
like I said, he's the reason why, this team has been playing this well. And I don't care what anybody says about the pitching, but Cespedes is the reason why they're playing well.
Yeah.
And we're gonna take a phone call. You're on the Tom and Jerry Sports Show. What's going on?
What's up, bud? Hello.
Hello.
Hey, what's going on? You're on the Tom and Jerry Sports Show.
Hey, how's it going? I was wondering, you think the Mets are going to be able to keep Cespedes long term?
Absolutely not.
There is a little bit of a debate there.
I really don't see a debate in there. I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, you got Bartolo Colon making $10 million alone this year. That's $10 million that comes off their cap just off one player. But let's be honest. If you want to be realistic and have all five of these starters for the New York Mets playing right now, their future, they're young, they're all got to get paid. Matt Harvey, Syndergaard, Matz, DeGrom, these guys all have to get big paychecks coming up in the near future. So it's a judgment call for the New York Mets. Do you want to keep basically a career 210 hitter who's having a great end of the season for you, or do you want to keep your five dominant starters right now? Because that's exactly what they all are.
Yeah,
I think they're going to trade Harvey.
Yeah, oh yeah, you know what? I see that, to be honest. You can't have five great pitchers in the MLB. You really can't.
And I don't see,
not to be successful.
I don't really see anything wrong with that, to be honest.
Me neither.
I think you can get a lot for.
You can
Matt
get a
Harvey.
big time hitter. That's what you can get.
Yeah,
a 300 hitter that are very rare occurrences in the MLB right now.
And maybe
that's a good point.
Cespedes. And maybe keep Cespedes. If something like that happens, I can see maybe keeping Cespedes. But as of right now, I don't see Yoenis Cespedes being Met next year.
It'll just be a judgment call for the New York Mets. It really will be. It's going to be about money. It's going to be about how much they want to put into their pitching and how much they really need to put into their hitting. It's basically a judgment call right now.
Hey guys, I got one more question. This Thursday, the football game. Who do you got?
Honestly, I got the New England Patriots. Home game. Tom Brady's very angry right now. Very angry.
I think you got to go with the Patriots. I don't really, I don't see it. I don't see the Pittsburgh Steelers defense really stopping
I don't see either defense stopping either team, but I think that Tom Brady is very angry, and we've all seen when Tom Brady gets angry, and we saw the record-breaking season with him and Randy Moss. So I don't see a change there. I think him and Gronkowski will have a great mesh going right off the bat, and you're going to see the New England Patriots. I'll predict it. I'm going to go 27-21 New England.
Oh man, thanks guys.
No problem, man. Thanks for calling, man. I mean, he made some good points there about the trade with Matt Harvey.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is perfect. I guess segue going into what we were going to talk about next is the whole problem with Matt Harvey and his innings and everything like this. Now, the way I look at it is, all right, we went through this already. Maybe not with the Mets, maybe not with the Yankees, but we went through this with the Washington Nationals. And
it made no difference whatsoever.
And Strasburg. And what happened the next year? They stopped him from pitching in the playoffs. They did nothing in the playoffs. And then he got hurt the next year.
It just it shows straight up right off the bat that basically the kind of protection they were trying to give him was no effect at all. And this guy still got hurt.
I mean, this is what I'm saying. You're talking about innings, all right?
Talk about the old-timers. This is why the old-timers love the game of baseball, because there wasn't stuff like this.
Yeah, but this is what I'm talking about. What does innings have to do with a pitcher?
Guys do 200 innings on the reg.
But not even that. It doesn't matter how many innings you pitch. It goes by pitches. You can throw 40 pitches in an inning. Innings have nothing to do with a guy getting hurt. It's not going to have anything to do with someone getting hurt. If you want to go by pitches and you want to maybe calculate the pitches that this guy has had all year long, go by that. But innings aren't going to do anything. And for you to sit this guy out maybe for the playoffs because of innings is ridiculous. And I think it would be the stupidest thing for the Mets to do. And for Harvey to, I mean, you have to have Harvey. If you're going to go into the playoffs as a Met fan, as a Met, you have to have Harvey pitching. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that.
Well, the New York Mets, this is basically a difficult situation because, let's be honest, and this is going to include management, this is going to include the players that are taking the field every game for them. Realistically, making the playoffs. Not alone
is the most important, obviously.
Having as many games over 500 that they are right now, they really are the most impressive team in baseball right now. Okay, and they're the biggest talk of the town. You're sharing a town with the New York Yankees right now, who are 18 games over 500 for the first time since 2012. So the Yankees aren't playing the worst baseball either right now.
They're half a game out.
Yeah, and the Toronto Blue Jays have won every single game, it seems like, in the past 3 weeks.
This is what I'm talking about with the Yankees also. The Yankees, they're a team, like I said, they're a half a game out. And as you said, the Blue Jays have not lost. They really haven't.
The Yankees are 18 games over for the first time since 2012. That's a long time. 3 years, 18 games.
The one bad thing right now is Nathan Eovaldi was shut down for the next 2 weeks because of elbow inflammation. This guy had Tommy John surgery in high school. So they're trying to, keep him from, maybe having a worse injury. But this is the problem with the Yankees is,
I don't even see Eovaldi pitching come playoff time, man. That's just me.
See, but the thing is, I was seeing him maybe the number 2.
Wait, behind who?
Severino.
What about Pineda?
Pineda is,
I think it's going to honestly go. Tanaka, Pineda, and Severino, and then go with that. I've seen teams do it.
I don't know.
The way they spread out the Major League Baseball playoffs you could pull it off.
With a 3-man rotation, absolutely.
That's why I think it's very likely for the New York Mets to trade Matt Harvey, because you can survive with DeGrom, Syndergaard, and even Matz, or who's the other guy? And then who's that other guy they got, too?
You have Syndergaard, you have...
Wheeler, the guy that got hurt, Blake Wheeler. So I mean, that's a good kind of routine. I think
Zach
Wheeler
Wheeler.
needed Zach Wheeler. What did I say? Blake Wheeler. That's a hockey player actually. He's a good hockey player though.
Yeah.
but that time's almost coming too. Can't wait for that.
Yeah. But with the whole, I will never ever agree with an innings limitation. I will never ever agree with a pitching.
Well, it's understandable. Like you said, you look at what happened with Strasburg, and it's pretty self-explanatory.
I mean,
you can be as safe as you want.
They were looking very, very good at that time. The Nationals. They were poised to have a very long playoff run, and they threw this whole thing out with the Strasburg and the innings and everything like that. And
let me tell you something. Where have
they been?
If Matt Harvey doesn't pitch in the playoffs, he's going to get ran out of New York. And that's basically how it is. And like our caller said, he's going to get traded, and it's not going to be. It's going to be by no choice. The fans are going to really get on his back. That's how it works.
We got another caller.
Another caller.
You're on the Tom and Jerry Sports Show. How's it going?
What's going on, guys? It's Bernie from Massachusetts.
Hey, Bern. How you doing, bud?
Nothing much, guys. Yeah, we're talking about Mets Nationals. Yesterday gave us a little bit of a scare, but the Mets pulled it off, and they just keep doing it, guys. It's not over. The Nationals still have a chance.
Hey, they were going to 2-1 underdogs yesterday, man. The Mets had no right winning that game, and the fact that they came out and won that game was very impressive. They got out on Scherzer right off the bat.
Yeah,
and it made it even better because it was against Scherzer. Now Scherzer's out of the equation. We only have to play him one more time in the next series that we see them. So it's not over. It's definitely not over. I want to talk about one thing. Curtis Granderson, his plate discipline is out of this world. This whole season.
This guy's got a great eye, man. I remember that.
He's patient at the plate.
Oh, yeah. 2 strikes means nothing to that man.
No, it could be 0-2, 1-2. He's getting into a full count every time.
Oh, yeah, well, that's how, he's been unbelievable. I mean, this is coming back to his Yankee days, too. The guy is, he had a really bad year with his last season with the New York Yankees. Did not hit for great average. This is a very small ballpark. He's a line drive hitter.
He played. Okay. He didn't really have that great of a season last year with the Mets, but he's definitely having a big year for the Mets this year. And most people will say that he has been the MVP for this team. To be honest with you, and he's been big. He has a very good on base percentage this year. And Granderson has been everything that the Mets expected when they signed him 2 years ago.
Yeah, well, what happens is, with Granderson, this guy, he's feeling the momentum in the locker room. There's a lot of momentum building in the New York Mets locker room right now.
Well, he's been in a locker room like that. So
I mean, yeah, but at the same time, you talk about last year, about his struggles last year, but this team was a team that was down, had really no realistic chance of making the playoffs. So listen, that always plays an impact to your performance day in and day out. And right now, he feels the momentum. David Wright's feeling the momentum. You're getting Duda back now. You're getting Murphy back now, healthy. This team is looking as dangerous as any team. So,
Absolutely. I agree with you guys 100%. It's just a shame they don't have an actual leadoff hitter because Granderson could be plugged into the 2-hole, and he'd probably have 80, 85 RBIs right now.
Yeah, he was in the 2-hole with the Yankees for a while there too, and he played well until he started to really tamper off, and then they kind of put him at the end of the lineup, and one of the reasons why he left the Yankees. But that's he would definitely be a solid number 2 hitter for the Mets. If they can get that.
Hey man, if he's got to bat 1 or 9, if he's going to continue to bat the way he is and continue to have the plate discipline he does and get on base and increase that on base percentage for those hitters like David Wright and Lucas Duda and Confronto and Kadire, these are the guys that you want in the middle of the lineup. You got plenty of guys for the middle of your lineup. I think the Mets are looking really good, and I think it's going to be very interesting come playoff time for this team.
Absolutely, definitely. Thanks for taking our call, guys. Bernie from Massachusetts, over and out.
All right, man.
All right. Well,
Bernie made some good points.
Yeah. Well,
Bernie.
We will be getting into the rest of the NFC. We're going to get into the NFC predictions, and we'll discuss a horrifying video from a high school football game in Texas.
Yeah, that was really, really disgraceful, man. I'll be honest.
Connecticut School of Broadcasting founder Dick Robinson.
You know, the media business has changed a lot since we opened our doors in 1964. Now media content is everywhere, on air, online, on the go. More than ever, companies are looking for people to help drive this new media.
At Connecticut School of Broadcasting, you'll get hands-on training on the latest software and equipment in a matter of months, not years. Connecticut School of Broadcasting has placed thousands of grads in broadcast media careers.
It's all about versatility. You see, at a radio station, if you also know how to shoot, edit, and post videos, you become a pretty hot commodity. That's the training you get at Connecticut School of Broadcasting.
Connecticut School of Broadcasting, with locations up and down the East Coast, from Massachusetts to Miami. Call 1-800-TV-RADIO or log on to GoCSB.com. Connecticut School of Broadcasting, the nation's oldest and largest group of broadcast media schools, redefining training in radio, TV, and new media. Get trained. Get connected. 1-800-TV-RADIO.
Don't do it for me. Now watch me whip. Kill it. Now watch me nay-nay. Okay. Now watch me whip. Watch me nay-nay. Why me do it? Now watch me whip. Kill it. Watch me nay-nay.
So, before we went to the break, I was talking about this, high school football incident that happened in Texas a couple of days ago. And it was a kind of a horrifying video, to be honest with you. These two players.
Basically, the referee had kicked out and basically ejected two players on their team,
and one was
on previous plays. Yeah, on previous plays.
Yes, and
they basically took their anger out in the most unbelievable fashion you'll ever see on a football field. It's actually really disturbing, to be honest.
What happens is you'll see the safety come in after the offense, basically hikes the ball, has a running play. The safety comes in and totally blindsides the referee. And then it looks like maybe a corner or a linebacker comes in and jumps right back on top of him. So the way that I mean, this is the worst thing that you can ever see really on a football field. And I mean, to be honest with you, why? Why?
Well, I don't really want to give a judgment here when it comes to that. You basically,
See, but this is assault. To be honest with you, this is assault.
No, but I mean, I'm not disagreeing with what this was. Yeah. What I'm saying is that, there isn't just, I don't want to even fill this show with all this, bad, this is really horrible.
Yeah,
basically what had occurred on this. And, this is definitely not the kind of attitude to have, especially if you want to be, a well brought up an adult. And, you see a video, even other videos, across, and it just doesn't, go along. Basically it shows a kid that, you see everyone looking at the injured teammate on the field, and you actually see a kid on the sideline, no one's watching, and actually someone took a snap, a picture of him, and it was him praying. And he was praying for the health of his teammate.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of stuff you want to see on a football field, okay? That really is. I mean, that shows a lot of care, a lot of heart. That's not heart right there that you're showing on the field.
No, not at all.
It's not showing any kind of care towards your team, okay? Because, you're basically showing no care towards a referee with no pads on. I mean, and you're leading with your helmet, above all. We've talked about this.
The thing is with this incident, you don't know if the coach was to, basically tell them to do this, or they did it on their own. Either way, there's an investigation going on with it. And you know what? I think there should be legal matter in this. There really should. This should go down to a legal matter. This is assault. This basically is assault. It doesn't matter. Like, you can do that to a player on the field, but the referee's not in uniform. He was totally blindsided by this. And as I said, this was a horrific incident to happen on a football field, and to happen with young kids in high school. To do this is totally terrible.
It just shows a lot of lack of great judgment. I mean, it really is. It's just pathetic when you really look into it. It's what are you going to do? Now you got a nice little rep for that. There you go. Now you got your rep up. That's basically you enjoy your rep, because now you have a rep as being someone like that on a football field. So good luck getting to any kind of big time college there. I want to move on though. We want to go in. This is football time. at first I want to let you know that you are live with Jerry and Kevin. We're taking calls if you want to hear your opinions, this story, and your NFC predictions. 605-562-7085. Press 5 to be heard live. Going to the NFC, man. It's football time, man.
Yeah. We're going to go real quick into the NFC North and the NFC South.
Okay.
NFC North, I mean, basically, the Jordy Nelson injury definitely hurts the Packers, but I don't think it hurts them in that much of...
The Packers are still going to be a great team in that division. I think that when you look at this division... I don't think anybody else wins
this division, though.
Well, the one thing about this division that you see that's really, really awful is just the defense across the board. I don't think any of these teams have any sort of an intimidating defense. Between the Packers, the Bears, the Vikings, and who am I missing? The Lions. And the Lions just lost a hell of a lot of depth on the defensive line. So, it really comes down to the fact that... you really want to...
Who's going to have the better offense?
Yeah, who's going to have the most productive offense? And honestly, I'll be honest, it could be a shocker, and it could be the Lions.
I don't think so. To be honest with you, I think it's going to be the Packers. I think no matter what, I think, they
really won't run away with this division, though, as much as people think. I think this will be a very, very close division. So, I mean, as we continue to move forward, you'll see that it's going to really be closer than a lot of people assume.
But yeah, I just think it's the Packers. I think Aaron Rodgers is just too good to even lose this division. I think it will be close. I do believe it will be close. I don't think the Packers will. I don't think the Packers will lose this division.
Well, we're getting a little bit of mixed here because honestly, I really it's going to be a lot closer division than people think. I think the one team that might be falling off here will be the Chicago Bears.
Yeah,
I expect Minnesota to be ahead of them in the standings this season. Minnesota's got a defense that's actually increasing better and better every year. They've definitely pointed it out in the draft the past couple of years.
So you want to hear my little prediction here?
Yeah.
It's going to be a shocker. I'm going to say the Minnesota Vikings come in second in this division.
Ahead of the Lions?
Absolutely.
Oh, man, I don't know, man.
To be honest with you, that's just the way I'm looking at it. I think Teddy Bridgewater will have a great season. And I think, Adrian Peterson is back. I think this is huge for the Vikings.
No, I can understand what you're saying. I'm not trying to throw out all the talent on the Minnesota Vikings, but, I mean, I'll be honest. Do not overlook this Lion offense, man. It's going to be very, very intimidating.
See, I mean... You got
a short route guy in Golden Tate, a possession receiver. You got a deep threat with Calvin Johnson. You got a bunch of running backs underneath.
My problem with this team...
All pass catching, too.
My problem with this team is number 9.
No, Stafford.
I don't like him.
It's the same way I feel about Cutler. I think Cutler's going to be doing some... but, I mean, Teddy Bridgewater is still unproven, so you got to remember that.
He is, but I think he'll have a good season. But we're going to go to the NFC South. This is another season. This is another division that's kind of up in the air.
Yep.
It could go either way. I don't think the Panthers will really get that close to winning this division. I think because
I personally think they have the best defense in that division.
They do.
Without a doubt. The offense might have its struggles, but
it's going to struggle. I mean, having Jonathan Stewart as your running back. I mean, how many times has this guy played a full season?
You never know who could be behind him too.
Losing Kelvin Benjamin was huge for this team.
Well, Kelvin Benjamin also, people are underestimating the fact that Kelvin Benjamin had a lot of drops last year. A lot of drops.
But he did have a lot of yards, a lot of catches.
He was a big production guy in that offense. I mean, Cam Newton really trusted him big time, but this is a role that definitely could be filled for this team. And actually, when it comes to the Panthers and this division in general, this could be another shocker. I mean, some people have the Panthers still winning this division, even with the whole fact of Drew Brees and company and Matt Ryan and company. I think that the Atlanta Falcon defense is going to just be absolutely abysmal. I think it's just going to be equally as horrible as the Chicago Bears. I don't see a big difference with either teams. When I look at those two teams, I see a lot of comparisons on the defense, and I mean, and they're not good comparisons at all. They're actually very, very awful.
I think Atlanta will take this division.
You think so?
It's so hard to pick this because I don't.
I'm
like
going to sit there and go Carolina still. I still feel
like
Carolina. I really still feel Carolina could still snag up this division. I really think their offensive line is very, very good. I think Cam Newton is an incredible football player. I've been a fan of Cam Newton since day one in this league. I really am.
I think this division, is all on the quarterbacks, to be honest with you. I think it's up to Breeze, it's up to Matt Ryan, it's up to Cam Newton, And I mean, Tampa Bay.
I'll tell you right now, my prediction. I'm going to go Carolina to win that division.
And I'm going to go. You know what?
Tampa Bay, we haven't even mentioned.
I'm gonna go with New Orleans.
That's who I see at second. And I could possibly see even Tampa Bay, depending on what kind of player we're going to see from Jameis Winston. They could possibly take over the third spot, maybe sneak into the second. It's a long season. You never know. Confidence gets riding high, and like we talked about with baseball, your confidence is high, you're going to perform better. Yeah. It's always like that.
NFC West. This is an interesting division.
This is the one division where I think a team's running away, man.
You really think so?
Yeah, I think so. I think.
I don't see that. I don't.
I think Seattle's defense did nothing but get better. I really do.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, but if they're losing Cam Chancellor, they're saying that Cam Chancellor may not play for the rest of the season.
And you still got a lot of guys there, man.
That you do, but I don't see it. I think Arizona is a top team in this division. I'm not saying that they're the best team in this division.
I think Carson Palmer gets hurt early, and I really think they fall apart after that. You think that Carson Palmer's playing the whole year?
I think this is going to be a close division. I think this is really going to be a close division. St. Louis plays this division very well. Arizona, I think, will play this division very well.
I personally see the St. Louis Rams finishing in second.
I think it'll be tight between the second and third.
I think we can both agree that. We think San Fran's going to fall off, and not by far. They're still going to finish an 8-8 team. I think they're still going to be a solid team.
San Fran
but they're
was hurt by a lot of the retirements.
8-8 can finish in last place in this division without a doubt.
Oh, absolutely.
I think I personally go San Fran dead last. I think the Cardinals have a good record, despite the fact that I still think they finished third. They probably don't make the playoffs again. And I like the Rams to make a big push this season. I really do.
I say Seahawks, Cardinals, Rams, 49ers.
Yeah, I'm mixing up the middle one team. I think right now you look at the Seattle Seahawks. This is one team that could pull away. So that's an easy prediction. I'll be honest.
NFC East.
Don't be biased right now on me, man. Do not be biased.
I'm definitely going to be biased.
No, you could be biased because I'm going to be honest with you. I agree with you 100%. I think the Dallas Cowboys have the best team in this division. The Philadelphia Eagles with Chip Kelly could be dangerous.
But this is what I'm talking about. I don't know why everybody really is on top of the Eagles the way that they are. I don't see
their defense has made a lot of. They've increased their defense. Their defense has gotten a lot better this season. That was the one problem with them last year.
I don't see an offensive line on this team.
If the Eagles are the only team in that division that could beat the Cowboys, I'll make that statement with no problem right now. They're the one team in that division that's going to be able to dethrone the Cowboys from that division. I think the Giants on both sides of the ball are very, very slacking right now.
They are.
And I don't hate on the New York Giants, but right now, let's be realistic, folks. If you can call up our show right now and explain to me one defensive player on the New York Giants right now, or on the defensive line.
They signed Stevie Brown because they needed a safety.
No, I'm talking about
But I'm just saying they just cut him. I mean, there's really no defensive player except for the 9-fingered JPP, and that's even
that says maybe week 5 at most. I mean, are they out of that division by week 5? I mean, the offensive line doesn't get much better for this team. I mean, right now both sides of the ball where the trenches are, they're really slacking right now, and it makes you see how much of a big impact it might have on this team.
Yeah. Fantasy 14 is up next. Everybody's favorite. You're listening to the Tom and Jerry Sports Show.
Got you on a nice stardom sit-em to start week 1. It's coming up.
All Noise Radio. Powered by the Connecticut School of Broadcasting. All Noise Radio is an internet radio station that's fully produced by graduates of the Connecticut School of Broadcasting. From modern rock to old school hip hop, country to classical, news, talk, sports, and more. It's the noise you can't ignore. Log on to allnoiseradio.com. Fire up the station. Find out more about your favorite jocks. Get the latest CSB news and more. Plus, you can take All Noise Radio with you on the go for free. Just download the Live 365 app to your iPhone, iPod Touch, or BlackBerry and search All Noise Radio. Check out tomorrow's broadcasters today at allnoiseradio.com. Powered by the Connecticut School of Broadcasting.
You're moving on to the next, but it's a respect gone, because someone told me that.
The Tom and Jerry Sports Show, Fantasy 14. How you doing? Join the Tom and Jerry Sports Show Pick 'em All Pool in our Eliminator Pool. Check it out on our website at tnjsports.weebly.com. Sign into foxsports.com to register and get your name in there, man. Get that free jersey.
Remember to join the conversation on Twitter at TNJ Sports. As Kevin said, join our two pools. Free jerseys on the line. Free jersey.
Can't beat it.
But right now we got our Fantasy 14.
And we start off with a stardom sit-em. I'll be honest.
Stardom sit-em.
This is a tricky week for you folks. There's a lot of matchups here that aren't too appealing to a lot of players. A lot of players you might have drafted early that you might have no choice but to actually bench for week one. And my number one to do your benching with is Drew Brees, the mighty Drew Brees.
Yeah.
Guy was top 5, quarterback. He snuck in there with the whole loss of. Because Big Ben had lost Martavius Bryant for the first couple of weeks, they actually had Drew Brees ahead of Big Ben on some draft boards. But this is a top 5 quarterback this week that you do not want to start. He will be playing in Arizona, and we've talked about that Arizona defense. It is a very good defense and a very intimidating one nonetheless. And they have him dropping down all the way to about 12-13 on draft boards. Even guys like even Teddy Bridgewater can arguably be in front of him this week.
Yeah, and you have Drew Brees, huh?
I do have Drew Brees.
It was a tough question. You had a tough question off the air.
Yep.
Tony Romo or Drew Brees. I think you basically just came up with your answer.
Yeah, you really have no choice. You have to, I had a choice of whether or not I wanted to start Tony Romo or Drew Brees week one in a fantasy football league. And I'm going to go Tony Romo. I mean, you're going up against the New York Giants. We've talked about how struggle that New York Giants defense is going to be. I mean, let's be honest, the Jets laced them up. Everyone remembers that, including myself. I don't care if it's preseason. You got laced up, baby. That's all I saw. So, I mean, I don't see a difference. I think Tony Romo has a great game. Des Bryant led with it, too. So, those are two plays that you could definitely go with. Tony Romo, Des Bryant. Sunday Night Football, first game of the season for the New York Giants and the Dallas Cowboys, and it's going to be prime time, baby.
But we're going to running back.
Yeah, we can move to running backs now.
On this
right now, I need you to give me a name that is a big-time top 5 pick, I would say, that you don't want to start week one.
That you don't want to start week one. I would have to go with, you know what? I would even think about sitting Marshawn Lynch.
It's a possibility. Honestly, I was going to go with Jamal Charles personally. And it's funny, I have both of them in 2 different fantasy leagues. Marshawn Lynch in one league, Jamal Charles in another. These are 2 matchups, both on the road. One against the Houston Texans. That defensive line was no doubt one of the best run stuffers in the entire NFL, led by J.J. Watt. Jamal Charles is a very,
elusive.
He's basically... He's a back that can do a lot of hurt, not just in the running game, but in the passing game as well. So, I mean, he really is a must-start for you no matter what, but this isn't the best matchup you want early on. And I agree with Jerry here when, he comes out and says that, Marshawn Lynch definitely should be benched week one. You're playing the St. Louis defense that was absolutely intimidating the last 7 games of the season last year. They were unbelievable. It's a big reason why I think they pull into second this league. I think they have literally one of the best defenses in the NFL right now.
As I said before when we were talking about the divisions, St. Louis plays the Seahawks very well. He does,
without a doubt.
So I just felt like Marshawn Lynch may be a back to maybe sit.
And who's your best play this week? If you were to pick anybody in the league this week, who are you going to play?
You know what? To be honest with you, I don't know what you're going to get from DeMarco Murray. He is going against
Atlanta.
Atlanta.
He'll be productive. I think he's going to be the goal line there. I know they got Ryan Matthews to change of pace, but I don't think Ryan Matthews' role is going to be as big as you expect.
I think you got to go with Eddie Lacy.
Yeah, Eddie Lacy is a clear-cut number one. We talked about that Chicago Bears defense.
You're going up against the Chicago Bears.
And honestly, DeMarco Murray's taking on the Atlanta Falcons.
Well, that was the other reason. I was like, you know what?
They'll go 1-2 on a lot of boards.
Even Adrian Peterson going up against the San Francisco 49ers, another defense that we said is slacking. So,
but if I had Adrian Peterson in the league and I'm going up against Eddie Lacy, I wouldn't be happy because you could possibly get outscored this week by by that. And that, listen. You can make your judgment all you want. We've talked about Doug Martin. He'll be taking on the Tennessee Titans this week. He's probably
that's a good play.
He's probably the deepest pick that you could have gotten in your draft. That is definitely an eligible start this week. But as we continue to move forward,
who should you sit as a wide receiver?
Wide receiver. Listen, out of these top 5 receivers right now, you're looking at Antonio Brown, Des Bryant, Demaryius Thomas, Julio Jones, and A.J. Green. None. That's basically the answer right there. You can even move on to this board a little bit further. Odell Beckham Jr., Calvin Johnson, Alshon Jeffrey, Randall Cobb, Mike Evans. It's still 0. You start every single one of these guys week 1. Julian Edelman, must start. T.Y. Hilton, must start. Jordan Matthews. These guys are must starts.
T.Y. Hilton going up against the Buffalo defense.
Well, the Buffalo defense is going to be, you don't want you don't want that matchup. But you have Andrew Luck at your helm. Okay, this is not going to be a guy that's going to get completely shut down. I know it's in Buffalo. But, I still see Indianapolis winning this game and scoring more than one touchdown.
The closest sit out of the list that we're reading from, I think maybe even Brandon Cooks.
Yeah, Brandon Cooks and T.Y. Hilton. It's one of those two right now.
You're really looking at
a tough start week 1.
Yeah, going up against Arizona, that's going to be tough.
It's just a tough situation to be in. I think Devontae Adams is definitely good eligibility, and he's probably the first number 2 going on this board. Number 2 receiver on his team right now, and his eligibility is definitely good. He's got a great matchup. We've talked about this numerous times, but we're gonna actually take a call right now. How you doing, buddy? You're on the air. Tom and Jerry Sports Show. How you doing? No, you're not doing good.
You're on the air.
You're on the air, big guy. Okay. On that note, we're going to have to take away that phone call. I guess it was some sort of miscommunication. But I wanted to continue with the wide receiver starts and sets. We continue to, look at these top 5 receivers, and they're all safe plays this week. Without a doubt, these are why they're number 1 receivers. This is why you start 3 receivers. Now we're going to get on to probably the trickiest position in fantasy football this season. This is a position that I did not go big on at all. I know the big-time names are Jimmy Graham, Gronk, and Greg.
Yeah.
Olsen, tight end position, folks.
Before we even move on to tight end, we can basically say if you have wide receivers out there that are big names, start them.
Yeah, that's why you got them. That's why you draft them in the 3rd and 4th round. You don't pick up guys in the 3rd and 4th round. You got to start, even on bad matchups. Now we're saying Brandon Cooks, bench, but not really bench.
You don't need to, but
don't expect the ceiling there.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically, the way we put it.
Tight end.
And tight end position, probably the most difficult. I'll be honest with you. I did not go deep on the tight end. I wanted to get a great core of guys, and I went with another big time receiver in a lot of my leagues. I kind of slowed down on the tight end position. I knew I wasn't going to get Rob Gronkowski unless it was the 2nd round, and I'll be honest. Ever since I started playing fantasy football, and there's been guys like Antonio Gates in his prime who are unbelievable. You know the law with tight ends. I never went a tight end early, okay? And now I had Gronkowski last year. I was a Gronkowski fantasy owner, and you got to remember, this guy is not the most stable player. He is like production wise, but when it comes to injury, this guy is just as likely to get hurt as anybody else in the NFL. So to go so high on a tight end, and listen, tight end's a very, very, very short position this season. But I'll be honest, as the season plays along, there might be a couple of names on this list that you'll start to become a fan of.
You know what? The way I went with it, I knew I wasn't going to get the 3 top tight ends. So I just waited. I waited with my first team. I think I maybe waited till about the 8th round or so, and I got Jason Witten.
Yeah,
so I stuck with Jason Witten.
I'll be honest, I was a little nervous about Witten. I'm nervous about a lot of tight ends in general.
And then I ended up
I'm nervous about the tight ends I do have.
Yeah, so. I picked up Jordan Reed as a backup as well.
Mm-hmm.
On my other team, I believe I think I drafted Delaney Walker, and then I drafted Owen Daniels as a backup because I knew Julius Thomas was not obviously on the Denver Broncos anymore. So, Julius Thomas was one of Peyton Manning's, best target,
Well, it's a whole different situation now. That's how it works, man. That's how it always works in the NFL.
I figured, you know what, as a backup, I think Owen Daniels may be a good pickup from Denver. So that's what I went with.
Well, you basically,
it's just a tough position to pick.
Well, this division, honestly, we're going into starts and sits right now. This is basically what it's all about. And you look at the matchups, and Gronkowski against Pitt, Gronkowski against anyone, you're starting him.
Yeah.
Jimmy Graham against St. Louis, probably not the best matchup ever, but the production should still be there for him. Greg Olsen, the same thing. Martellus Bennett against Green Bay. This is going to be an air-out game. I think probably one of the highest-scoring games of the week. Travis Kelce will be taking on Houston. That might not be the best matchup, but you know what? Travis Kelce's one of those tight ends that everyone's very high on. I'm not really too high on. He's also banged up a little bit. I would definitely not start him this week.
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely a lot of capable ability there. But we move on. We're going to go on to defense, starts and sits, and this is probably the most important one. This is the one position in fantasy football where you can get negative points.
Yeah.
And you really don't want ever to get negative points because then you start to think, well, you'd rather just not put anybody into your lineup at this point. But the Miami Dolphins going up against the Washington Redskins. Washington's offensive line obviously did not look too promising in any of the preseason games this season.
Not at all.
So they, you got to see a couple of sacks coming this way from the Dominican Sue and company. The Carolina Panthers, rightfully so. Jacksonville Jaguars, rookie, second-year quarterback. Might still look like a rookie quarterback. Only time will tell. Not a lot of good receivers into this lineup. Allen Robinson being the best receiver there.
Yeah.
Definitely not trustworthy yet. The Houston Texans taking on Kansas City, who had struggles in every kind of regard, and Houston being the kind of team they are. Same with the New York Jets, Cleveland and their struggles. A very good start. Seattle Seahawks against anybody this season. I mean, you can even put the argument to start them against the Green Bay Packers if they're at home, man. That's how good this defense is. And this is the same thing I say with the St. Louis Rams. Cardinals, you hear me? The St. Louis Rams. They're taking on Seattle this week. They're actually ranked 14th. I would say you have no problem putting that lineup in, putting that team in your lineup and have no problem with it. Honestly, you're at home. You should be comfortable there, and it's a good start. I mean, Seattle doesn't have the most intimidating offense of all time. There's definitely ways to stop this team. It's a good start no matter what way you put it. Buffalo against Indianapolis.
I got Buffalo.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I wouldn't start in week 1.
I got no other defense. So
I understand.
I guess I got to start them.
Yeah, I guess you're crap out of luck then, basically, yeah. But,
and then I got Arizona on my other team. So.
All right, well, listen.
Well, you know what? I have more confidence in Arizona's defense, to be honest with you, against New Orleans than I do with, Buffalo against Indianapolis, just because Indianapolis looks like, is going to be the team coming out of the AFC, to be honest with you.
We all, I know what you're saying there. These are two defenses that, I'll be honest, I wouldn't be comfortable starting because there is the possibility that both of those teams could air it out. Indianapolis is a great quarterback. New Orleans the same way. You got Kansas City's defense also against Houston with a rookie quarterback. They're not rookie quarterbacks, but when I put it like that, I'm basically saying a quarterback with not a lot of, experience and could be vulnerable to a couple of interceptions. And, they even say in the Colts defense, I wouldn't even think about putting the Colts defense in there. The Colts defense is really kind of a struggle this season. I don't see it getting any better. And the Green Bay Packers the same way. But moving on, we're going to go on to kicker. Basically, guys, they got a top 6 rank right here. You got Miami, Carolina, Houston, Jets, Seattle, Bengals. I think any of those defenses are comfortable. The Bengals taking on the Oakland Raiders. It is in Oakland, so be careful. You never know what can happen on a road game. You don't want a road defense really ever.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it is the Oakland Raiders, and Derek Carr needs to be proven that he's not going to be throwing any interceptions this season. So, as kicker, Gostkowski, the guy's been obviously a clear-cut number 1. People actually took him in anything before the last pick in the draft, which is, I'll be honest, in the last round was every round for me for my kicker. I don't believe in taking a kicker any other time than that. You're not going to get too much guaranteed production out of a kicker. Really, when it comes to start-sit for a kicker, you basically got to look for a kicker that's going to be on a pretty solid offense, that is going to get his points somehow, some way. This team's going to get the ball down the field, and obviously you could see that with, the whole New England, Green Bay, Philly, Dallas, and Atlanta being the top 5, kickers in the league right now. These are all teams that have no problem getting the ball down the field day in and day out. Should be nice and easy. Basically, when it comes down to it.
Both my teams, I drafted Greg the Leg, Zerline, just because I knew he was a good kicker at least. It does not look like he is up on this list that we're
last year he was a little vulnerable. He missed a couple of big field goals, a lot of field goals he hit 2 years ago. So listen, when it comes to kicker,
he's number 30.
Yeah,
he's number 30.
Oh, that's not bad. There you go. Good draft pick. When you pick a kicker, you basically got to cross your fingers and hope that this guy hits 3 50-yard field goals in a game and gets the production for you. Just make sure.
I wanted Justin Tucker, but he was taken before.
Yeah.
But some people start drafting kickers, real early.
Yeah, it makes no sense to me. I've never been a fan of that. But you know what?
Yeah.
Hey, do what you want, man. As long as you join my league, that's all I ask.
huge special Tom and Jerry Sports Show coming to you live Thursday, September 10th, the first day of the NFL season. You know, Pittsburgh, New England.
Enjoy the NFL season, folks.
We have a big show for you on Thursday. Definitely check it out. You know, as we're talking about fantasy football, check out the 1 week fantasy footballs, FanDuel, DraftKings. Check those out. Those are pretty cool. I hope you guys liked our Stardom and Situm. That will do it for the Tom and Jerry Sports Show.
See you Thursday, folks. Enjoy the NFL season. It's finally here. Let's do this.
I'm Jerry.
I'm Kevin.
Be breezy.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Tom and Jerry Show.